Okay, so I go away for a few days, and I come back, and your skunks have eaten up my front yard. Skunks. Yeah, okay, go get them critters. Have you had that happen to you? My whole front lawn is all. Anyway, that's another story. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 18 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry on this absolutely spectacular autumn day. We are brought to you by Grantham Home Hardware, supported by Niagara Parks Commission, Sandra's Home Healthcare, Ace Alignment, Verge Insurance, and Mac Outpost, powered by WeeStream. We are at 149 St. Paul Street, Fiddler's Poorhouse on this beautiful Wednesday. Welcome to October the 1st. These are your specialities of the day. So, I almost regret having to go inside, but I love going inside this place because it's great. Come on down, join us for lunch or a bevy or whatever you want, and we'll, there's a little summer honeybee. Protect the bees always. Protect the bees, don't kill the bees. We have an interesting show for you today. We've had these two ladies on before, and they wrote and acted in and produced and directed an ag type honorarium series called Cows Come Home, and it was all centered around Fort Erie here in Niagara. And they're going to be joining us for an update because there's a pretty cool night coming up on October the 5th, the day coming up. And Kevin Jack, our executive producer from WeeStream, is actually going to be emceeing this thing. So it's kind of cool what's coming up. St. Catharines Fire Chief is going to be joining us as well. So we have a lot of stuff going on today. We'll catch up on what's been going on over the last couple of weeks here in Niagara. So 30 seconds, we'll be back. Come on in. And here we are. Man, it's good to be back. When I say good to be back, I mean that in a couple of ways. Good to be back with you on Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. Also, good to be back home. I spent the last 9 days, I guess it was, something like that, on the East Coast. And of all the places I've been, and I've lived all over the country except the East Coast, took a trip to PEI, spent time in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton, and it was amazing. I went on a golf trip, got back 2 days ago. And I got to tell you, if you have never had an opportunity to experience the extreme eastern coast of Canada, overlooking either the Atlantic Ocean or the Gulf of St. Lawrence or whatever it is, my gosh, do it. I saw things over the last week and a half or so that I had no idea existed in my own country. And it was very cool. And I'm really glad I finally had a chance after all these years to experience the East Coast. I don't know why I've been to the East Coast in the US, and all over the other, but never actually in the maritime provinces until this past week. And it was just great. But enough about this. Before we continue with the meat of the program, there were a number of things that happened while we were away from you over the last couple of weeks, and I think we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the passing of Niagara Regional Chair Jim Bradley, a representative in politics of St. Catharines for many, many, many years, and over the last few years as regional chair. And we appreciate your service, Mr. Bradley, and we wish you to rest in peace. And we're sorry for your loss to Jim's friends and family. And I just wanted to acknowledge that off the top. A lover of Niagara and a Niagara public servant for many, many, many years. So just wanted to get that in off the top. The other thing that's been going on, and you know what, if you didn't listen to the news, or watch news broadcasts, you probably wouldn't miss it. But there's a postal strike on. Did you know that? Yeah. Canada Post went on, the posties and those people went on strike again. I wouldn't know it, and I don't care. And I think that's kind of the position of most Canadians. Is that number real? $10 million a day? Could that really be true? I don't know how it could be true. But apparently, that's what we're bleeding. We're bleeding $10 million a day, according to the stats that we've been hearing. It seems unbelievable to me. And that having been subsidized by the Canadian government, i.e. your tax dollars. And I mean, I appreciate the people that work there. I see posted, because I live in a neighborhood where there's door-to-door delivery every day. But I don't need it, because most of the stuff they leave behind is stuff I don't need. The odd thing, every now and then, if you want to send a birthday card, but no, a lot of people don't send birthday cards and that stuff anymore. But all I'm saying is, I've never heard of a situation in which it was more stupid to go on strike. Because you're just walking yourself out of a job, you know? We don't really need the service that is there that's losing 10 mil a day. It boggles my mind. One of the other things that's happened, and I know this is just not a Niagara thing, because we do focus on Niagaras. This show, we always say that, all Niagara all the time. But congrats to the Blue Jays, and congratulations to all Blue Jays fans for clinching the American League East and getting the bye on the first round of playoffs. And we're on top in the American League. But boy, they made us work for it. It was Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, on the right bottom corner of your screen, our executive producer and co-founder of WeeStream, the power behind this program. Kevin, why do Canadian teams make us work so hard for a playoff win?
No, you're not wrong. We could have had this thing wrapped up a while ago, but waited until game 162. But The good thing is they got the week off. I think today and tomorrow they're hosting little intra-squad games and things like that down at the Sky Dome, just to keep limber, keep fresh. But they get going against the winner of the Yankees and Bo Sox on Saturday.
And the Sox won last night. If they win tonight, they'll play the Red Sox on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
crazy. These 3-game series. All of a sudden, Boston wins the one last night, and now the Yankees are on the brink of elimination.
Yeah.
So lots of baseball today. Lee, before we go much further,
yes,
I want to ask people to share the program.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So there we are on Niagara 411
There
Live.
we are on Niagara 411. And then first of all, you refresh that, right? And then you get us. There we are. And then you hit share. I'm just doing this along with you. You hit share. And then just share. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to comment on the post. You just hit share now. And life is good. That's how we attempt to, every week, connect you with all of your fellow Niagarans. And it's kind of a kumbaya moment. Not to put too fine a point on it. And this is all shared through, of course, the platform of Niagara 411. Operated by our pal Nick. And hi, Nick. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate all of your work as always. And hi to Nick's mom. Hey, glad to have you along for the ride, as per usual. While we were away as well, the Disney Corporation has lost about $1.7 billion in subscription fees being canceled because of the Kimmel situation. Kimmel fought the law and Kimmel won, or the law fought, whatever. It's a crazy world we living in. Oh my goodness, Kevin, aren't you glad that we don't make millions and millions of dollars a year, because we'd have to put up with this stuff? We just sitting here in a little corner of the world making our $10 a week, and you know what? When you put it that way, not so much. I think I'd trade seats. But what did Kimmel get in there on his return show? About 10 times the normal audience. I mean, even I watch it. I watch the monologue. Oh yeah.
So the world was watching. So
the mega movement did him a big solid.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that you're trying to get him off the air, and as a result, all you did was have more people pay attention to him. And sometimes That's the way it goes, Lee. That's the way it goes.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, as they say. Just first. Sorry, Kev.
No.
I'll come right back to you. For those people that are driving around St. Catharines, beware of traffic snafus, is that the word? Around northern end of St. Catharines on Lake Street, around Linwell area. They're redoing curbs and stuff, and the traffic is just all glommed up. Anyway, Kevin, what's up?
I was going to say, where? Right there where it kind of splits there? And you got the
right near
Petrocan?
where I live.
Yeah, okay. So
I
outside the high schools.
I experienced it this morning. It's a traffic mess.
All I was going to say is we got a lot of stuff to get to, a lot of
Yeah.
cool videos. We got to talk about that tragic wheel flying off the pickup truck that closed the QEW for a day. But we've got some great guests coming up towards the back half of the program.
Yeah.
So let's set that up. And it starts with Fire Chief Dave Upper
Coming up
and National Fire Prevention Week.
Yeah. I used to, back in another life, used to make sure that we focused on this every time we had an opportunity. Fire Prevention Week. And you might get a little bit tired of hearing this year after year after year, but it's so important, especially when you hear of the carnage and the hardship that goes along with being a victim of a fire, and the work that the firemen and firewomen have to do on a regular basis and putting their lives in danger. And we need them because we know we're not going to end fires. There are going to be fires, but there are so many of them that can be prevented if we just listen. So we're going to have an opportunity to listen to Chief Upper at about 12:40. Talking out front about a television series that is available on video on demand through, is it Crave?
It's on 5.
On 5.
Yeah, 5 TV right there.
5 TV, yeah.
Bell 5 TV.
Cows
I've watched
come home.
all 6 episodes. It's a great run. It's a great ride. It's pretty good.
We've had these two ladies on before, Lindsey Middleton, Kate Ullman. They're going to be joining us about 12:55 today because there's a special event coming up on Sunday, the 5th. And it's in Fort Erie because this show centers predominantly around the town of Fort Erie, which is very, very cool because Fort Erie being in the southern, along with Port Colborne being in the southernmost post of our region, often gets overlooked for a number of things. Fort Erie hasn't had an easy time of it economically over the years, so it's kind of nice to see something that's focused on that area of our area. It's a series called Cows Come Home, and we'll talk about the event. It's a home screening in the home screening in the town of Fort Erie. Kevin Jack is going to be actually emceeing the event. I would have been there too, but I'm going to be out in British Columbia that night. So damn it, I can't be there.
So Lee, it's interesting how the worlds collide because Cows Come Home is centered around kind of 4-H and the whole idea of these farm festivals and the showing of cows and how they have cow competitions. Well, last week on the show, or a couple weeks ago, said I was going up to Sarnia. I was working with the ornithologists, which was a bird conference. I ended up in Forest, Ontario, and it was the Forest Fall Fair. And what do I stumble upon? But the exact competition that is depicted in the show.
Really?
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's real. Like, this is
Of course it's
exactly
real.
what they talk about in the show. I mean, I've never been exposed to this side of life, right? This agriculture life where you would actually have these horse competitions. And here I am in the middle of the fall fair, and the kids, the teenagers, are all wearing, white head to toe, and they're showing the cows.
Yeah.
And actually, there they are there. And I sent it to Lindsey and Katie, who are coming on the show, as kind of like oh my God, it's real. Like all the stuff you talk about in the show is playing out right before my eyes.
Oh, it is super real.
In Forest. It's like,
I was never involved with that stuff myself, but every single year, and I don't remember when it stopped happening in Welland, but the Welland Fair was a thing that we never missed. Because it was, by we, I mean me and my family, because it was a typical community agricultural fair. And they had a midway and stuff with rides and all that hoo-ha, but they also had stuff like this. The cow shows, the dog shows, they had the agricultural produce shows, like the biggest melon ever grown, and the crazy size gourds that would come in, and prizes were handed out for these things in all these different categories, and I just loved it. I was sad to see the Welland Fair go, and they would have other things there, like people with the latest in motor homes, and it was a great agricultural fair. I don't know if they still have the Royal Winter Fair in Toronto at Exhibition Place. Do they do that, Kev? Still?
I think they do. Yeah.
And that's a bigger version, of course, with horse jumping and dog performance thing. It's just very, very cool. So
I mean, look, Lee, on the left-hand side.
Look at the cow.
Left-hand side of the screen is the actual competition at Forestval Fair.
Yeah.
And on the right side, these are stills from the show.
From the show.
I mean, this is exactly what they're depicting.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. I really enjoyed the show. And there were so many Easter eggs, Niagara Easter eggs throughout. So I encourage people to go to 5TV and check it out, because you're like, oh my gosh, I've been there. Oh my God, like that right there, I believe is either Fort Erie or Ridgeville. Kind of
Ridgeway.
One and the same. Ridgeway, yeah. Sorry, one and the same.
Ridgeville is in Pelham.
Here they are. I mean, guess that local store, Lee. That's your Minor Brothers.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, lots of scenes filmed in Minor Brothers and in and around Fort Erie. So it's very cool, and I will be there for the 5 p.m. showing this Sunday, and it's going to be at the new Fort Erie Secondary School.
Well, you're giving away all the details now.
Sorry.
What do people have to watch the rest of the show for if you're giving away all the information now?
Yeah, you're right.
Just dial it back a little bit and do your job.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, so we look forward to producer, writer, and star Lindsay Middleton, as well as director and writer and producer Katie Ullman, coming up at about 12:55. There's really a cool show or exhibit or, fair going up, the Niagara Children's Fair. And we're going to have Lori Punton on to talk to us about that. And what a great avenue for young entrepreneurs, or what do they call them, kidpreneurs? People that are already designing and inventing and producing things at their tender ages to create a business or potential for a business. Kind of neat. And we're going to talk about the Niagara Children's Business Fair at a little after 1 o'clock today. So we had some interesting folks coming up. Glad to have you along for the ride today. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine, but hope you can spend some of this sunny day with us as we continue with a great spate of autumn weather. And it's going to continue over the course of the week. On Friday, we're supposed to even get back up into closer to summer temperatures as a bit of a heat wave comes back through Niagara. So it's going to be pretty good. Enjoy it and have fun. I wish I was going to be able to join you on Sunday, Kevin, but I have to go see my new granddaughter out in British Columbia. So
it's going to be exciting times, Lee.
Yes, we're going to welcome baby Charlotte to the world.
Lee, do want to let you know we've had somebody hop into the green room. I'm just going to get them set up, but let's work our way through one of the stories, and then we can go to them.
Okay. Let's talk about that wheel, that tire episode that happened.
That
because
was
that's one of the tragic things that has happened. We can't always do good news. So we're talking about the Fort Erie bound lanes of the Queen Elizabeth Highway at Glendale Avenue. A tire flew off, a wheel tire, whatever, flew off a pickup truck in that direction of the highway. We don't really know how these things happen, but they do happen. I've had it happen to me. And luckily no one was hurt, including us in the car. But this tire flies off a vehicle, and it was a vehicle being driven by a U.S. citizen that was here visiting Ontario. And it flew through the air and hit the windshield, the front of the car, coming in the other direction, which ironically was also populated by 2 U.S. residents that were going the other way. All of the people involved in this were Americans. The tire hit the windshield, and unfortunately, the driver of the vehicle was killed in this incident. The passenger had injuries but escaped with their life, and so it resulted in the death of the driver of that vehicle. And one has to wonder. These are the questions and the concerns that sometimes, believe it or not, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I wonder about some of these things. The timing of such an incident. What are the odds that you are driving on a highway and something flies through the air that's not supposed to be flying through the air, hits you at that precise moment? What factors, things influence those incidents? How does that happen? What leads to that? What is that word really? When it's your time, and whatever happens because it's your time. Is that it? Is it some sort of weird karma thing? Is it some sort of silly spiritual conflux of things? I don't know.
Yeah, here's a report from the OPP on the day of.
Yeah.
We're on the scene of a fatal motor vehicle collision involving a wheel-off on the QEW in St. Catharines. It occurred just east of Niagara Street in the Toronto-bound lanes. Both lanes of the highway will be closed in this area for approximately 4 hours for the investigation. If you're traveling Toronto-bound, you'll have to exit at Glendale Avenue in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and you'll be able to ramp on again to the QEW at Niagara Street. If you're traveling Fort Erie bound, you'll have to exit at Niagara Street, and then you'll be able to ramp on shortly after, just past Welland Avenue. The collision occurred as a result of a wheel-off that came from a vehicle in the Fort Erie bound lanes. The wheel traveled into the Toronto bound lanes, striking two vehicles. The driver of one of these vehicles has been pronounced deceased at the scene, and the passenger in that vehicle has been taken to a local hospital for observation. So please avoid the area, and we'll give updates as we have them. Thank you. The Niagara OPP are on the scene of a fatal motor vehicle.
Yeah. I don't know, Kevin. Heart goes out to the people affected by that. Luckily, there weren't more people injured in the incident, which that highway is getting busier and busier all the time, and it is actually quite amazing and kind of lucky in one way that there weren't more people hurt by that, because cars go out of control when they're hit by something like that, and it could have affected numerous people. But and that obviously is a picture of the vehicle sans wheel. So it was a whole wheel that came off, not just a tire. So there's probably going to be an investigation on that behalf, because were the lug nuts not tightened properly? What causes a wheel to fall off? Something was at the root of why it flew off the vehicle.
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, Lee, and I echo your sentiments about, is it your time?
Yeah.
Like, boy, oh boy, whoever, of course, our heartfelt condolences to the victim. I don't know that they've been identified, an American citizen, coming into Canada. I'm not sure what they were up to for the day, but right?
It's like you wake up in the morning and you have your Wheaties or you have your eggs, and you're looking forward to a nice day of whatever your plans are, and just out of the blue, literally out of the blue in this case, boom. How do you? It's not. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't make a wrong turn, or it's not like you weren't paying attention. It's just, boom.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
It's your time.
At those speeds, I was thinking about it, and I'm sure a lot of people in Niagara were thinking about it as well, putting yourself behind the steering wheel and saying, would I see the tire coming? Could I avoid it? And it's coming at you at 110 kilometers an hour. You're going 100 kilometers an hour.
So you've got an impact and a speed of like 200 kilometers.
Yeah, so try and dodge a 200 mile an hour fastball, right? It just ain't happening. So you talk about happenstance, circumstance, whatever you want to call it. Lee, Stephen Seuss has joined the green room, and we always allow anybody to come on the program at any time, just like Stephen has.
Absolutely. Stephen, how you doing, bud?
Lee, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I couldn't be better. Thank you for asking. What's going on?
Congratulations on your news about a new grandchild.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, Lee, today I want to come on the show and give you some great news.
All right.
We were in Waynfleet last night and presenting on the push to make the private sex offender registries in Ontario and Canada public, and Waynfleet unanimously supported the decision.
Wow, congratulations on that.
Thank you. So now they join Grimsby, Thorold, St. Catharines, and Lincoln, who have all supported our push for a public registry. And I want to thank the ladies who attended the delegation with me and shared their stories of being survivors of sexual violence, Liz Emerson and Alicia Gugu. They did a great job, and council was certainly moved by their presentations.
So what does this mean, this action on behalf? I understand the message. What does this mean on behalf of your movement going forward?
Well, the public registry would serve as an important deterrent to these violent acts, because maybe an offender will think twice if they know that they're going to be on a public registry when they commit these crimes. So that's what we're after, is putting in more deterrence to crime. And of course, Niagara Region supported harsher penalties for those who commit child sexual violence. So we're going to take this movement and we're going to make it provincial and hopefully national. I'm going to try to bring the Association of Municipalities in Ontario, AMO, on the motion, and I'm going to see how many municipalities we can get to support. This is very important because Little E and all the survivors of sexual violence deserve real justice. And Lee, this slap on the wrist approach to crime and this revolving door of the criminal justice system is just not working. We need to end catch and release and support bail reform. We need to put in measures like GPS monitoring and curfew for violent sexual offenders released back in the community. And the councils in Niagara are finally hearing us. Welland and Niagara Falls have both not taken action in terms of motions on violent crime. Welland voted down the community watch proposal. Niagara Falls referred the public registry idea to staff, and they won't even tell me what staff is managing that motion. So it's time to unite everybody and take action on this matter. This is a public safety issue, Lee.
Stephen, I know there are legions of people that would agree with you as far as the maintenance and the activities of our justice system. This registry that you're speaking of, just to clarify, this registry would include the names and identities of people convicted of such crimes, correct? Not just charged?
Correct. And it would be accessible through a website, we're hoping, where people can search about it. The United States has a public registry, and it works there, so why can't it work here? This isn't about vigilantism. This isn't about harassment and anything like that.
Right.
It's about holding violent offenders accountable. They should have thought of their privacy before they took advantage of a child. And as a victim of child abuse, I am 100% behind this initiative.
I can't fault any of your logic or any of your emotion, and others as well, along these lines. There's no question that it's a heinous crime to commit. One of the things that you mentioned, though, makes me try to look at those people who may have somewhat of an opposing view to the registry situation, in that you say by holding them accountable. These people, if you want to call them humans, that were convicted of these crimes. They're convicted of the crimes, and they may not, granted, they may not serve the terms of incarceration that we would like them to. However, when you say being held accountable, if you've committed such a crime, by being convicted, by and large, the very message is that they have already been held accountable. How do you see this registry being used going forward? Again, you see, you don't want it to be a mechanism of harassment or violence or vigilantism, etc., which is all well and good. How do we ensure that doesn't happen?
Well, the public registry is about planning for public safety so that families can protect their own and their children. Nobody wants to move to a community and live next to a violent, dangerous sex offender. And there are laws in place already about harassment, and there are laws to stop people from taking the law into their own hands. So the police have to make it very clear that that is not going to be permitted, and this registry is about protecting their public safety and keeping people knowledgeable. My friend Alicia Gugu, she told her story last night at Waynflete Council that her mother had a live-in boyfriend that was taking advantage of her, and he was on the registry and they had no way of knowing about it. That is egregious to me. They could have planned better for their public safety had there been a public registry.
Okay. Well, I'm gratified to hear the fact that this movement is moving forward. I do think it's important, make no mistake, but I also understand the argument for I hesitate to call it the other side, because nobody condones sexual harassment, and especially of a child. No one. And we do want to see these people somehow prevented from doing this again. Absolutely. But I also understand the red flags that some might put on the topic. It's an incredibly complex and sad conversation even to have. But that's why I just wanted to dig a little deeper and find out where you saw this process going. That's why I asked the question.
Absolutely, and it's great that you ask it. But I'll leave you with this. If the government does nothing about violent crime, that's where people are going to take the law into their own hands. You see the lack of action and vigilante groups forming because of the lack of action. People will react positively when they see that there are more deterrents being put in place for crime. Yes, they've been convicted, but that doesn't go far enough, because we have to keep the community and public safety at top of mind, my friend.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Stephen Seuss, thanks for being here. Thanks for passing on the good news. Thumbs up to Waynflete Council for making that public statement this week. And I know you'll keep us posted, Stephen.
I shall, Lee. Thank you very much, 411.
You're welcome. Yeah, interesting. It's a complex debate sometimes, Kevin, just because of the fact that there's so much emotion and passion and terrible stories behind it. Anyway, it's another step forward.
I'm trying to catch up here. I saw this guy locally come across my Facebook feed, and he was engaging in exactly what we don't want. And here, I think I got it here. Like, he's going, I don't really want to give this guy much press, but he's going vigilante. And I don't really think we want this in our community. And I mean, here.
To let him know that we are aware of what he is doing and what he has done. And that we as a community will no longer accept it. I am here to pass the shame, blame, and fear back onto our local pedophiles and let them know that they are on notice. They are no longer allowed to harm the children in our community. It's over for your pedophile days.
Who's this dude?
No, I don't really want to give him any press.
Okay.
Because again,
so who was he talking about?
he was in a community, and I think he was trying to alert the community to the fact that there was somebody probably on the sex registry
Convicted
that lives
of
in
this
their community.
In their community.
And that's what we don't want, right? We don't want vigilante
Yeah.
justice. We want due process. But I think obviously what happened in Welland, and I got to say, Lee, a little pat on our back because we were there a month ago interviewing the mother of the first victim of this pedophile in Welland, and we kind of shone a light on the fact that, look, this isn't the first time. This guy was convicted, he was given a light sentence, he got out, and he reoffended, and his second crime seems more heinous than the first. And the whole justice system, whether it's sex registry, whether it's the punishment, whatever the system is, it seems broken that somebody could get such a light sentence and then come out and reoffend so quickly after being released.
And one of the almost unbelievable aspects that flowed from that story that we did when we did present it here on Niagara 411 Live with Sterry a couple weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whatever, is the fact that the people commented on the fact that this particular person had not only done it twice, it was almost a habitual activity on his part. There were people that had, one woman in particular, had awakened. She was staying in her daughter's room because her daughter wasn't well, and she woke up to find this guy, the same guy, standing in her daughter's bedroom. And had she not been there, had the mom not been there, who knows what would have ensued. So, an incredibly unique and bizarre story, but who knows how many times this person had attempted to do this. And to go to Stephen's point and to Kevin's as well, is that's where our justice system seems to be failing us. Be it overpopulation, be it the wokeness of our society, believing in rehabilitation, be it whatever, I don't know what the hell it is, but whatever it is, people are not seemingly destined to serve the sentence or the appropriate sentence to suit the crime, and it's a big deal, and unfortunately, it's a big deal. I don't understand people that do that. I guess none of us do, but wow.
Lee, let me give you an easy segue out of this rather touchy subject.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
There was something that came across 411 this week, and it has to do with trying to find people in our communities, but this is for all the right reasons, and I love this story to touch my heart, and maybe we can find this guy.
Yeah, we'll do this, and then we will give a grateful nod to our sponsors. So this post came up on Niagara 411, and this goes back, by the way, a couple of years. October the 5th, almost exactly 2 years to today, this fellow apparently shared his beautiful music at St. Catharines Market Square. It's on King Street, downtown St. Catharines. And he did so in 2023. The flyer on the door of this picture looks as though it's for the Harvest Pie Festival, which was, as I mentioned, October the 5th, 2023. So we are thinking this would have been sometime before then. Trying to figure out who this is. Please help. Signed, Tasha. And I don't know why she's trying to find it. Maybe she's just trying to find his music. So, if you're that guy, or you know who that guy is, and I'm sure somebody out there knows who he is, he was doing a busking thing at Market Square a couple of years ago, and Tasha would love to find out who he is.
Somebody's got to know this guy. I mean, he could
Somebody
sing,
has
right?
to.
I mean, dude can sing. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's always hard to record somebody that's performing in a public space because the acoustics are never worthwhile because the microphones are a long way away and et cetera, and all that technical stuff. But he sounds like he's got some skills.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not the first time and not the last time. So this guy's out there, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think all they did was take a screen cap and kind of zoom in on. Not saying that he still looks like that, right? You know, haircut and a shave, and you might look like a totally different
Who knows?
guy.
2 years from now. Yeah. 2 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
that's pretty good.
if you can help us find out who he is, just go to Niagara 411 and go to this. If you're watching this show, just put a post up, and put a comment up on the show. And want to mention just to what we did before with Stephen when he was on just a few minutes ago, is if you want to come on the show, people say, what do you need to do to get an interview or whatever? You don't have to do anything. We don't have to plan an interview with you or a conversation with you. All you have to do is click on the link at the bottom of the feed that you're watching, the stream that you're watching right now. Just click on that. It'll take you into what we call our Zoom room, green room, and Kevin will make sure that we got you hooked up, and then we'll have a conversation. So you can just sit there and watch this and click on the link and come on the show. We have no sacred cows here, other than perhaps on the Cows Come Home show. But no, that's just come on in and join us whenever you want. Want to thank our main sponsor. This program brought to you by Grantham Home Hardware, locally owned, genuinely Canadian-made, homegrown quality from coast to coast. Grantham Home Hardware at Vine and Scott Street there in the Grantham Plaza is the place. Jake and Rob are the two principals there that if you want to go in and say hi, thanks for your service, thanks for your store, talk to those guys or anybody in there. Kevin, that's the one place that there aren't too many places that do this anymore, but I get my lawnmower blades sharpened there every year.
You can do that? You can just bring them in?
Just walk in there, sharpen them.
Really good. Didn't know they did that.
Sharpen your lawnmower blades while you wait.
Yeah, go see Jake and Rob. They'll hook you up.
Absolutely. Or anybody that greets you there. It's cool. So we thank them for being our predominant sponsor here in the program. We are also supported by Sandra's Home Healthcare Services, and we certainly do appreciate everything you do, Sandra. She has been providing compassionate in-home care and personal support worker services since 2005. Niagara Parks Commission, Canadian side of the Niagara River from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie, including the iconic Canadian Horseshoe Falls. So many attractions, so many things to do. I think it's 56 kilometers of a beautiful Niagara riverside properties and attractions. My wife and I took a trip and we went through something as a kid, I used to play around old Fort Erie there on the water, And my wife and I decided, let's do some more local stuff. So we went and we took a tour, which was cool, through old Fort Erie. And they had done something there that was new to me. They put a museum and welcome center on the side of the fort, which is really, really interesting. So even if you're already from here, check it out. It was kind of cool. Ace Alignment also standing by us for quite some time now. I can't remember when Janice Pretty and her bunch came on to sponsor us. Time flies by me so fast I lose track of it, but it's been a while now, a year anyway, just about. That Ace Alignment, specializing in, as you might guess, wheel alignments, brakes, suspension, vehicle inspections, front end, rear end, all ends of your vehicle, whatever you need. Ace Alignment on North Street in St. Catharines, just off Geneva, behind the newest police station. Thank you very much for also supporting this program. Verge Insurance brokers, can't say enough about the commitment to this program from Verge Insurance. For your home, for your business, for your car, for your life insurance needs, Verge Insurance Broker is a place to go. Located on Ontario Street here in St. Catharines, right near Montebello Park. And in business here since 1953. Whew, that's a long time. Got to be doing something right. And my friends at Mac Outpost, everything Apple. And that's really all you need to say. Everything Apple in Niagara. Sean, the owner, Derek, the head tech, what they don't know about anything in the Apple world, be it your Mac, your iPod, your iPhone, whatever, what they don't know doesn't matter. And I don't think there isn't anything that they don't know. Servicing Niagara and the Apple community since 1998. So thank you, Mac Outpost, located on the north end of St. Catharines, on Lake Street in the plaza where the Dollar Tree store is and Tim Hortons, etc., down there. So it's awesome. Fire Prevention Week is coming up. It starts October 5th, runs through the 11th And I want to welcome St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper to the program. I've talked to Dave numerous times before over the years in different venues, and we've had him on this program before. Dave, Chief, welcome to the program. Thanks for being here.
Yay, thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. One of the things I mentioned earlier when we were talking about having you on the program is, and we've talked before, and I've talked with folks that were chiefs previously in your position over the years, and we have this very important Fire Prevention Week every year, and it runs all across the country. It's not just here. Every community might have different dates, but we certainly do it. Do you ever get frustrated at providing this important information and then having your brave men and women on a regular basis fight the same fights over and over again?
You know what? It's a great point to bring up, and no, I don't. We had a fantastic example about 2 weeks ago. You and I have talked about this, about the whole smoke alarm thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Why don't people do them? And we know that they're effective, and we know they work. So about 2 weeks ago, we had a neighbor who said, listen, I can hear a smoke alarm at my neighbor's place going off, and they're not home. I don't know what it is. And you know what? Good on the neighbor. They saved the homeowner next door to them in thousands of dollars of damage. We responded, and sure enough, they had a basement fire, and we made entry into the home, and we got the basement fire out very quickly. And if it wasn't for a bunch of things, one is that early detection device, the smoke alarm,
right,
wasn't for the neighbor who heard it and made the call, and then our folks roll in and we get that fire knocked down, and we save that home, and that smoke alarm worked. And so those are the victories that get us through when we're struggling.
You know what? That's a great point. Because one story like that makes all the others worthwhile, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
but the homeowners themselves, did they not hear it, or did
they
in
were
that
gone
situation?
Out. They were. I don't know where they were, but they were not home.
Oh, they weren't at home.
No.
Wow.
They were not home.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, good on the neighbors for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Fire Prevention Week, October 5th to 11th. What do you want to tell us about that, Dave?
Well, as you said, things are changing in our world so quickly and so rapidly, and the lithium-ion battery has just become kind of front and center of what is going on for the fire world. And so our theme this year is Charge into Fire Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home. They're in everything. They're in your phone, they're in your computer, they're in our power tools that we're using. And what we're finding is that lithium-ion batteries are now challenging in the top 3 spots for the number 1 cause of fires caused in the province.
Really?
It's become a big thing, and so now we're, obviously targeting the public educating piece of it and bringing it out in our public education campaigns.
So how is it that these batteries in our phones and computers, et cetera, how is it that they do create fires? What happens?
Well, I know what is happening is that we're using them in various avenues not prescribed by the manufacturers. I've seen some of the folks take, say, a DeWalt battery for a cordless drill, and they rewire their children's little pedal car or little remote control car and use that battery. And so they're trying to use batteries for applications that they weren't prescribed for.
Okay.
And that gets us into problems. The cars drive really fast for the kids, which is neat, and they have a long lifetime. But that's not the manufactured battery that came with the car when they bought it.
Okay, so that's a really important message. Don't try to jerry-rig something, first of all, for which it's not intended.
Yeah. Yes.
While we're talking about charging, I've heard various things. I don't know whether it's true or not, about it being not advisable to leave a charging cable plugged in without the device attached to it. Is that a dangerous thing to do?
Well, that's not something we're seeing.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's, that's very uncommon for us to see that.
Okay.
It would be the rarity.
Okay.
What we're seeing with regards to charging is that they'll use a charging cord or port for, again, a different manufacturer device than what they originally purchased it for.
Wow. Okay.
So they'll use, usually when you buy some type of electronic device, it comes with a charging cord.
Right.
Whether it gets lost or it's just not convenient, they use a different charging cord and plug it into. And that's been problematic. Leaving them on a hard surface, so leaving on a tabletop, whether it's a kitchen counter, dining room table, or your desk, like leaving it on a hard surface versus leaving it, say, on your bed and a pillow. Soft surfaces are not good. And then the other thing is just to remember to unplug your, once the device is fully charged, to unplug it.
Unplug the device.
And those are that's where we're seeing the problems, is that
Do the batteries overheat? Is that it?
Yeah, the batteries go into thermal runaway, right? So what happens is I'll take, a device that I purchased, use a different charging cord from a different device, use that because it does fit, and then the battery itself will go into thermal runaway. If it's on a hard surface, usually with the charging cord, it'll heat up, and then it'll have an automatic shut-off on it, it'll cool down, and you're okay. But when you leave them on a pillow or bedding or something, they get heated up and will get small fires.
Define what thermal runaway is. What is that? That's a term I am unfamiliar with.
Oh, okay. So lithium-ion battery has, like, it's kind of technical. I wish I had a diagram to show you.
That's okay.
In essence, what happens is there's a chemical reaction that happens inside the battery along with the negative and positive ions in it. And then it just, instead of doing the recharging component, which creates a little bit of heat, it overextends itself and goes into what we call thermal runaway, where the heat component of it continues on through the charge. And then once it starts burning in the small cell, it'll burn, and then the lithium-ion batteries are made up of several cells. So it's like taking, say, a AAA battery and just bundling a bunch of them together. And once one battery catches on fire, of course, it's up against the other battery.
Right.
And then all the batteries start to catch on fire.
Okay, got it. Are there any events or information sources, etc., that you'd like to pass on while we're having a chat here?
Well, I think you can go online and you can be researching kind of lithium-ion batteries, but I think the big things is, make sure you're buying a device that's got a national approval on it, like from one of our regulating bodies, like Underwriter Laboratories, Canada Safety Association. Like, just take the time when you purchase something to make sure that it has one of those stickers,
right,
and has that identifier on it. And that's a big thing. And then just use it as the manufacturer advises you to use it. If you're going to go online, just do the research to see what you're going to buy and what's being nationally tested.
Good advice. Dave, for this to be way up on your radar screen for this Fire Prevention Week, you must have encountered this fairly often. How is that true? Do you encounter this a lot?
Yeah, that's correct. We've had it's happened so much so that the Office of the Fire Marshal now has, so for every fire that we have, well, actually for every call, medical, rescue, whatever it is, for every call, we submit a report to the Office of the Fire Marshal, and that's how they track the data.
Sure.
And it's happening so much across the province, and we'll talk about a couple of calls here, that they now have a special code for lithium-ion batteries.
Really?
That it's happening that.
Wow.
Yes. So for us, for example, we had a fire in a home with the battery. It would be, I'll say, about the size of 2 Kit Kat bars, let's say, the lithium-ion battery, and it was being used for an airsoft gun. And I don't know what the owner was doing, but however they were charging it, it went into thermal runaway, caught on fire, and we had a fairly significant fire in that home.
Wow.
From that.
Wow. The things you don't know that you don't know. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the fire alarm situation, and the other alarms, I just lost my mind.
The carbon monoxide alarm.
Yeah, those.
Yeah.
We have yet again another time change coming up. We're moving from daylight saving time to back to standard time in very early November. And is it still sort of the message that when you turn your clocks back or you change your clocks, check your fire alarms? I just always remember that sticking with me.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it sticks with you. That's awesome, and we want to continue to really promote that. So that's a hard yes for us. Please check. I know that a lot of the detectors now are hardwired in. Mm-hmm. They still have a battery backup in them, a lot of them. Therefore, that battery needs to be checked as well. And then we have just, your smoke alarms that have batteries in them. So absolutely, please check your smoke alarms and your CO alarms for their batteries. Okay.
Anything we haven't covered yet, Dave? Because it seems like we've once again covered the steps. I hope they work.
Yeah, no, you know what? Thanks so much for having me on here and having us be able to bring our message out to the community. I think the big thing was what we talked about at the very beginning of the show. I was glad that we could touch on it, was that smoke alarms work. Yeah. And, we had a small little victory, and it was great. And so just really promoting in the community, like you said, time change is coming.
Yeah.
Please check your batteries and just make sure your alarms are working.
St. Catharines Fire Chief Dave Upper. Thanks again, Dave, for joining us. You have a safe season, okay?
Thanks so much for having me. You take care.
Yeah, bye. All right, interesting stuff. I did not. I knew the ion battery thing was a thing, but I didn't know it was that big a thing to have its own code number when a call comes in. That's really pretty interesting. I wonder if electric. I should have done. Well, we'll talk to Dave again about this one. But one of these times, we're going to have the electric car fire conversation, because obviously, with the proliferation of more EVs, we're going to have more EV fires, and they're a special kind of fire that firefighters have to fight. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Fiddler's Poorhouse, and our very elegant, professionally designed, multi-million-dollar TV set here for Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Come on into Fiddler's Poorhouse. We want to thank Dave McParian and his staff for having us here every couple of weeks. We kind of get in their way a little bit. We try not to be too intrusive, but it's still nice of them to have us here and show us the kind of courtesy they do. So come on into Fiddler's. Great food, good prices, right close to the Meridian Center. If you want to catch a game, come on in. Now, we've talked to these ladies at least twice before. Once before the show, once when it was getting released, and now it's up and running, and there's a special event scheduled this Sunday centered on the community in which they focus this program, which is our own Fort Erie, Ontario area. Cows Come Home show is, of course, the show. It centers around the world of like 4-H stuff, agricultural competitions, but mainly your cows. The cow shows, as the title would obviously suggest. Lindsay Middleton is a producer, writer, star of the show. Kate Ullman is also a producer and writer and director of the program, and they join us once again now. Lindsay and Kate, welcome back. How you guys doing?
Hi. Hi, good. Thanks for having us.
Oh,
good to see you.
Thanks for being back here. So, your show's getting pretty good reviews. What kind of feedback are you guys getting?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We've gotten a lot of positive press from CBC, the Toronto Star, E-Talk, and many agricultural outlets across Canada, just to name a few, which has been really exciting.
Yeah.
And folks have seemed to really enjoy the series so far. So it's been really positive. It's only been out for 3 months, but it's really, yeah, I think, yeah, exceeded our wildest dreams in a way.
Pardon? Oh, exceeded your wildest dreams.
Exceeded.
I just missed
Yeah.
that. My earpiece went dead for a second. In relations to this, you've got an event coming up on Sunday, which is kind of cool of you to do. I think it's marvelous, considering the fact that the show is basically focused around the area of Fort Erie here in Niagara. Tell us about what's coming up on October the 5th.
Yeah, so this Sunday, folks can come out to the Meridian Center for the Arts, which is the auditorium theater inside of GFES, Greater Fort Erie Secondary School. And we have 2 showings happening, one at 1:30 and one at 5 p.m. So folks can come to either or both. We have tickets on sale for that event. It comes to $13.56 online, and a portion of those sales go to iCanter, which is a therapeutic equestrian riding program, and also one of the locations where we filmed for 5 full days of shooting. So we're really excited to bring this show home. There's going to be a red carpet, a photographer. You can buy limited edition merch. There's not too much left, so it's going quickly. So this is your one chance to get it before it's gone.
Okay.
And most importantly, come out and see the show and celebrate Fort Erie.
That's awesome, and we thank you for your invitation to for Niagara 411 Live to come out and be a part of it. I unfortunately am going to be out of province, or I would be there with cowbells on. But I'm going to be in British Columbia that day, so I can't be there. But our own Kevin Jack, executive producer of the program, is going to be there. And will be assisting in presenting the day.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, ladies. My wife
Yes.
and I, we sat down, we watched all 6 episodes over the course of, I think, a week, right? And that's what's really great about the show. It's so easy to consume. Episode lengths are about, 16, 17 minutes runtime. And a lot of times, you sit down and you're like, oh, gosh, I can't commit to something that's 55 minutes. It's an hour and a half. Gosh, part 1 of a 5-part docu-series, whatever this thing is. And it was a great ride, and as I'll be talking about on Sunday, for Niagara residents and Fort Erie residents, the show is just packed with Easter eggs. Right around every corner, I'm like, oh, I know that place. Oh, I drove by there. Oh my gosh, that's downtown Fort Erie. That's Ridgetown. It's really cool, and we really enjoyed the show. And I'm just saying that as a reason for people to go out there and watch it. It's on Bell 5, 6 episodes, or hey, you know what? If you haven't, come down and see us at Greater Fort Erie Secondary School on Sunday. And you can watch all 6 screenings. Comes in at about, an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half, something like that. It's we really enjoyed the ride, and I hope you enjoyed the ride making it. And, Lee, I'll just segue into this. What has your experience been now that it's released and people are starting to watch it?
Yeah, I was going to ask that, so I'm glad you did. Go ahead, ladies. Fill us in on your experience.
I couldn't fully hear the question. Can you just repeat it for
Oh,
us?
sorry. I was just really asking, what has your experience been like now that now that the show is released, and now you're getting reaction from people?
We've been receiving mostly positive reactions. I don't know, maybe the negative reactions, they're not reaching out, and we don't want them to.
Believe me, if there were negative reactions, they would reach out.
No,
Negative
that's
reactions
true.
always reach out. So if you're not getting any, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so far so good. It was a labor of love. Lindsey and I have been working on this project together for 3 years. And it came, which is quite quickly for a show to start from its in concept to now we've delivered it, it's out. But it's been quite an intense ride, and I think seeing audiences enjoy it, and sometimes you make these things and you just hope, will people watch this? Are they going to enjoy this? Did we just waste 3 years of our lives?
Right. Yeah.
But certainly that hasn't been the case, and we have some exciting news coming soon as well. So yeah, it's been, I don't know, Lindsey, am I missing anything? How do you feel?
Can you tell us anything?
We can't tell you anything yet about the exciting news, but something is in the works for more cows to appear, is
More
what
cows.
we can say. But yeah, so I'm excited for Sunday, and I'm excited to sit in a room and hear people from the region react to seeing their region on screen, because I think that's a really unique experience that not even necessarily a lot of filmmakers get to have.
Yes.
Because it's kind of a medium that is often consumed, in the privacy of your own home or
Right.
in a theater, and the filmmaker's not always there. So it's always nice to share it with an audience and get to hear them react, and also get to talk with them after. Katie and I will both be there. Some of the cast and crew will be there, our cinematographer, some of the actors who are
Yeah.
also in the show. So folks are more than welcome to ask questions and mingle with us after the show and before.
Oh, that's great.
I'm excited to hear what people think.
Absolutely. I had a little fruit fly thing going on here, so that's why. I have a couple of questions that always occur to me. This is a world that you've moved into, not the cow world, the ag world, because you're both familiar with that. But as far as the filmmaking, creative world and environment is concerned, was there anything along the way that really surprised you? Like, oh, I didn't expect that kind of reaction. Somebody?
mean-
Anybody?
Okay, so we're coming from a little bit like different backgrounds on this, and this was not my first time producing. This is probably my 5th time on kind of a project.
Oh, okay.
Of
So
this
you're a pro at
scale.
this. Yeah.
Not a pro, never a pro, always learning. But I'll say, like, the first time you feel like I don't know, Linz, if you felt this, but like the first time you produce a show or a movie, it's like there's all these curveballs. Because you need so much. There's so much admin and business affairs and legal to creating anything on screen. And I think when you enter the business as a creative and you just want to tell stories and act and direct, then when you really take the reins and produce to give yourself an opportunity, you get slapped in the you get slapped down a bit thinking, oh, I got to do this, and what's a clearance, and in 3 types of insurance, and we need a lawyer, and all of that stuff. But you know what? It's like one thing at a time, and any capable person can get through it, I think.
Yeah, it's really something that people in Kevin's experience and mine, being involved in our earlier days of radio, which is a whole different medium, but comes with the same challenges sometimes, is, hey, some days all I want to do is eat a cookie and talk, but it's not that simple. There are other things that go along with the process, and I'm sure it's a learning process, and we wait for that exciting, more details on the exciting news. The other thing, to go back to a point that Kevin made, that I'm sure you'll get even more feedback to after this event on the 5th, is we understand that people that have made movies in Hollywood for years, the movie place, is the fact that we always see on television, we always see TV series with signs of the LA Police Department and the LA City Hall and all the familiar sightings around Los Angeles and places in California that people that live there are familiar with and see every day. But to see your own community depicted on a professionally produced show it's sometimes mind-blowing, because, oh my gosh, that's my house. That must be a reaction you get a lot.
Yeah, I think Sunday will be really exciting. We have about 400 people currently already scheduled to come. So to sit in a room with hundreds of people and see themselves reflected on screen, and they will definitely see places they know. I can't wait to just hear the reactions live.
That's cool. I have a bit of a connection. One of the neighbors of mine has a bit of a connection with a lady that starred on your show. Her name is Clarice. Do you remember working with Clarice?
Oh, yes, of course.
My neighbor across the street knows her through his son, etc. So I just thought I'd give her give her a heads up there and a nod.
Lee, let me just hop in,
Yes,
and I'll
Clarice would.
probably ask you girls this question again on Sunday. But I just had a photo up there from kind of behind the scenes shot, and you're working a lot with cows. Whenever you're working with animals, it's a wild card.
Yeah.
What were some of the troubles that you had on the set in trying to work with the cows and the animals?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. So we were very fortunate because we had some great animal trainers on set who Lindsey's known for a long time. Her 4-H leader, Ariane, and Scott Webb was there helping with the animals. But for me, it was my first time working with cows as a director, and what I learned was that for the calves, their attention span is about 15 minutes until they burn out. So you have to shoot them out, and quickly. They don't last super long. And then also just shooting around their milking schedule. We couldn't disrupt the animals. That was our deal with the farmer. And so there were some challenges just in scheduling around that. But I think overall, it went very smoothly.
Now, see, that's surprising to me. I think for a cow, an attention span of 15 minutes is pretty good. I mean, sometimes I don't have an attention span of 15 minutes.
Fair. I think the biggest thing I took away from working with the calves is I realized that working with calves is actually a really special skill, because I just assumed wrongly that it's quite simple to do because I've done it since I was a child. And so I remember having this moment on set kind of going, oh, just because I have done this thing for a long time, it doesn't mean it's going to be someone else's comfort zone, or even just being around animals or being around agriculture and the smell of a farm and all those things that I've kind of taken for granted as a kid growing up, immersed in that. That's not everyone's experience. So that was definitely a really great learning lesson going forward as both a producer and a creative, of just because it's something that you know the world of, you need to take extra time to make sure other folks understand that world.
Yeah, cool.
Lindsey, just kind of before we wrap up here, just wanted to put a feather in your cap, because your portrayal of your character touched on everything that you're looking for. I think it was sincere, it was believable, it was heartfelt, and the whole plot line, as though I'm sure you and Katie were sitting there behind the scenes going, is anybody going to buy into this? And I think through good direction, good writing, and good acting, you got us to buy into it. So as, I don't want to say far-fetched as it might seem, but the whole delivery of it was believable, and I 100% bought in, as did my wife as well. So, kudos to both of you on your performances, but on screen, Lindsey, you really delivered a good one.
Aw, thanks, Kevin. That's why we're having you come do the screening opening at 5 p.m. You can say exactly that.
Enough kissing up to the guests.
All kidding aside, thank you. And we're very excited to have you kick off our 5 p.m. screening.
Kissing up to the guests. I wish I could be there. One of the things that I mentioned earlier when I was talking about you ladies coming on the program was when I was a kid and on into my teens, as a matter of fact, there was the Welland Fair that always used to take place. And that's where I was first exposed to that ag competition world, be it cows, dogs, horses, gourds, whatever, carrots this big, whatever it was. I just always found that for a young person in particular, I just found that fascinating. And then I grew into going to the biggie, the Royal Winter Fair that they had all the time at exhibition place in Toronto. I just found that world fascinating. For those people that don't know anything about it or never had the experience, it's too bad, because the world that you ladies and you in particular, Lindsey, came up through is fascinating. It's so interesting.
Yeah, we're actually really excited because Cows Come Home will be at the Royal Winter Fair this year.
Really?
On November 14th and 15th. Katie and I will be there doing a special kind of educational Q&A about filmmaking in the agricultural center there. So if folks want to come and meet us there as well, we will be there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that collaboration because the Royal is kind of the pinnacle of these competitions, like you've been
Indeed.
talking about.
Indeed. I'm glad
So
it's
we're
still
excited to
still
go.
going.
Yeah, definitely.
Lindsay
And
Middle.
just
What? Pardon?
oh, no, I was just going to add on to that because I totally agree with you. There's something so special about 4-H and the agricultural communities.
It's great.
And it's so amazing. And the work ethic that it teaches kids to, whether it's, farming produce or with working with animals, the discipline and the positive energy. We worked with a number of real 4-H kids on this project, and I was blown away by their maturity and how smart they were. And I don't know, I think it's an amazing program, and it teaches kids incredible skills, and it was a beautiful world to represent, and I hope we did it justice.
I'm sure you did. Is the 4-H community still active in Niagara? Is there a chapter here?
Yes, there is. There's a chapter in Niagara South, kind of out in the Wainfleet area, and we had members from that chapter in our show. So in
Nice.
episode 6,
Nice.
when there's a competition scene, those members are in the ring with calves,
Cool.
which we were very grateful to have them there, and I think they had a good time on set as well.
Lindsey Katie, thank you very much. Congratulations on the show. Good luck with the event on the 5th, and I know we'll talk again. Cheers.
Yes, so lovely to see you both. Thank you so much for everything.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Great ladies, great event, great show, super feather in the cap of Niagara. Before we bring on our next guest, I want to quickly run through and thank our sponsors once again. Grantham Home Hardware over in the Grantham Plaza, Vine and Scott Streets, and they do great work there. Jake and Rob at Grantham Home Hardware. Go in and see them, talk to them, and they came on board about a month ago or a little bit more now as our premier sponsors, and they bring you this program with happy hearts every couple of weeks. So thanks, guys, at Grantham Home Hardware for being here. Also, Sandra's Home Healthcare, thank you, providing healthcare over the last 25 years, personal service worker healthcare, and setting the bar very, very high. Niagara Parks Commission and all that goes along with everything you do along our beautiful Niagara Parkway, all the way from one end of the river to the other. Thank you very, very much for being here. So many things to do. Look them up, niagaraparks.ca. It's very simple. So many things to see and do as a result of the Niagara Parks Commission. So thanks, all of you there. Ace Alignment for anything and everything you need to do with your vehicle. Of course, alignments and brakes and suspensions and that kind of stuff. They're located on North Street. Small place, big talents. Just off Geneva, behind the police station. Head mechanic Darren Miller, senior mechanic Matt Crumpton. Those are the dudes to talk to over there. Verge Insurance Group, Ontario Street, providing insurance broker advice and support since 1953. Just by Montebello Park there on Ontario Street. Mark Shirk, thank you for your support. And as well as Mac Outpost, Sean, the owner, been in business here since 1998, before we could almost not spell computer. But anything and everything to do with Apple. Authorized reseller and service provider in St. Catharines in the North End and the Dollar Tree Plaza, be it iPads, iPhones, Macs, whatever, and accessories and advice to go along with those, and training and anything you can think of to do with the Apple world. That's the place, North Street. Our next guest is a spokesperson and the driving force behind the Niagara Children's Business Fair. And this is such a neat concept. I don't think we've had this conversation before on the show, but it's coming up, and it's going to be on October the 18th from 1 to 3 in the afternoon in Thorold. And her name is Lori Punton, as she's joining us now. Hey, Lori, how are you?
Good afternoon, Lee. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, we're excited to have you. This is the first time we've had a chance to chat. I know you've known Kevin Jack, our producer, for quite some time, but this is the first time you and I have had a chance to get to know one another. So glad to have you on the show. Tell us about this.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about this exciting thing. I know you call the people that participate in this kidpreneurs, which is kind of a cool title. Tell us about the fair.
So if I could just take a few moments to give you a bit of history.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I had the opportunity to take my grandson to Cambridge Children's Fair. And so he had started a little business over COVID. And so we thought, why not? We took him to Cambridge, and I was truly blown away at the organization and how it was run. So after speaking with the convener for quite a long time, she encouraged me to sign up to be the host for the Niagara Children's Business Fair.
Cool.
So this actually originated in Acton. It's an American family that started this in their town of Acton. And boy, oh boy, has it spread. So it's all across the US and into Canada. And so I came back, I did the due diligence of all the interviews and things of that nature, and I was accepted. So that was 3 years ago, was our first Niagara Children's Business Fair. And it's amazing to see these young entrepreneurs, ages 6 to 14, that have created a business, and they're now showcasing their wares for our community to come and rally around them. So to listen to these little kids and how they learn. So here's the thing, Lee, the learning experience these kids get, how to interact with someone else, how to be social, how to sell yourself, if you will, without saying that in a negative tone,
Right.
but how to sell your product and just communicate and talk to the person that's on the other side of their table. So this really is an amazing experience, and I can't tell you that every year I don't start crying when I see these kids in action, because it really, really is. Especially for the younger ones, when you see the little 6-year-olds trying to do their very best at communicating, it's just really a truly wonderful experience.
What are some of the things that you've seen come out of this? Some of the business creations that have gotten your attention, if you can think of it. You've probably seen many, but
Yeah, so there's a couple that you may have heard of her, Gloss by Mimi. She was actually at our fair 2 years ago, and she has exploded so much that she delivers all across Canada, and she just had to put up a statement that she could no longer support the American customers because of the tariffs. And so, but just to see her little business grow, it's been phenomenal. So again, these kids build the confidence, right? They're able to communicate. They learn networking skills. You and I probably didn't learn that until we were well into our whatevers, right? But these kids are learning it at such a young age.
and some of us, some people of our generations have never learned the concept of networking, which is so important in whatever walk of life you are pursuing. So how old was Mimi when she started this?
So at the time, I think she was 11 or 12.
Really?
So, yeah. So she's been on the TV, she's been on the news, and she's really doing well. And it's nice to follow her as she journeys into the next phase of her business.
How many exhibitors or kidpreneurs, if you will you have on site on the 18th?
So we have 43 vendors this year, which represents 57 young entrepreneurs.
That's
so some of our
amazing.
tables or some of our businesses will have 1 or 2 people with them, and then others are on their own.
So this is similar to what you would go through to an art show or a craft fair or something of that nature, except these are unique products and services that have been created by these kidpreneurs from 6 to 14, did you say?
Yes, yeah. And the really cool thing about it is we're encouraging them along throughout the year to be creative and think outside the box, learn how to market, learn how to make change, learn how to use a POS system. All these factors are so essential for no matter what we do in life. They're so important to have that experience. And so the morning of, when the kids have set their booths up, we actually have a group of mentors that go around and speak to each one of our vendors and encourages them and gives them tips. And then during our lunch hour, we're handing out awards and grants to some of these young entrepreneurs. Then the doors open at 1 o'clock for the public to come in.
Where does this grant money come from?
From businesses. So we have a great business sponsorship program. And so through different levels of sponsorship, they can either do just straight grants, or they can help us financially to help these kids have the best day possible.
That is truly phenomenal. Now, let's say I have a son or a daughter or a grandchild that I know is creating stuff, or you can tell has that kind of aptitude. How do they go about participating in your program?
Great question. So every year we offer a QR code that the mom, dad, grandparent can scan, and that'll take them directly to our next year's event so they can be put on the mailing list. And then March of that year, we open up the portal to allow our young entrepreneurs to apply to be in our fair. I have to be honest, we have over 25 young entrepreneurs that are on a waiting list that could not get into our fair this year, and it was simply because we ran out of room.
Okay. So is there a criteria for becoming one of the exhibitors other than having room, of course? Do they have to meet some sort of structure?
So the only category, if you will, that requires you to go through a few more hoops is anybody that's selling food. Because when you get into the food industry, if you're going to teach them to work with food properly, then they need their food handler certificate,
Right.
They need their public health inspection, and they need to have that advertised at their table. So we don't just allow anyone in, but if our kids are very serious about either becoming a baker or a chef, then they need to go through the right channels first.
Makes perfect sense. So, Lori, what do you get out of this? Is this a volunteer thing, or have you been able to turn this into a business yourself?
Actually, it is purely volunteer, and you can see by the smile on my face, the recognition or the satisfaction is watching these kids the day of. And I'm getting misty-eyed right now. We have a committee of 7 wonderful people, and we have a copious amount of volunteers that help us just make this day the best day for these kids. And it's great to hear the parents afterwards to say, thanks so much for investing in my child.
That's awesome. What is your background?
To see
quickly,
my child.
If you don't mind me asking.
Pardon?
What is your background?
I've always been in the sales industry. Ever since I was 16 years old, I dealt with sales. I've done a lot with fund development. So I've always been in the networking public guy myself.
Well, that's not hard to believe. And congratulations on this initiative. I'm so glad we had a chance to talk about it at long last. It was great to meet you. I think this is a fabulous framework and a groundwork for these youngsters, and I really look forward to the event. So unfortunately, again, for this event, I'm going to be out of town, but I know I'll get to one. I know you're going to have more, so I'll get to the others. But thanks for being here, Lori, and congratulations on a great job. This is awesome.
Thank you. Before we go, do I have 1 minute to share something?
You got whatever you want. Yes.
Perfect. So Kevin has some images that if he would like to share them now so people can see them. But first of all, the first slide is our business sponsors, the businesses that are in our fair now. We have 33 businesses, like adult businesses, that have sponsored us. We have 33 businesses.
You haven't been able to see them from your vantage point, but Kevin has been putting images and details and stuff up on the screen throughout our entire interview.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we have fallen a little short this year with our financial support. Due to some businesses not being able to help us out this year.
Right.
So I just put a call out if there's any businesses out there that would be interested in piggybacking into this program and helping us, then the information is at the bottom, kidpreneur Niagara at gmail.com. and I would love that conversation. And then, of course, then they've already seen the list of our young entrepreneurs as well.
And that list of businesses was just up on the screen. So I appreciate you putting that out there so that you can get increased support, because I can't think of a more worthwhile investment on behalf of the business youth of our community. That's awesome. Lori Punton, event organizer of the Niagara Children's Business Fair. Thank you so much for being here. Nice to meet you. And again, good luck with everything, and we'll chat again, I'm sure.
Perfect. Thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, you're welcome. Anytime.
Bye now.
Bye. Ladies and gents, and so goes episode 18 of season 6 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, brought to you by Grantham Home Hardware, supported by Niagara Parks, Centers Home Healthcare, Ace Alignment, Verge Insurance Group, and Mac Outpost, powered by WeeStream. Kevin, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for doing the work you do. We have a musical act to, as they say, play us off the stage. The band is called Feverish Lemons. I know, who thinks of this stuff? Feverish Lemons is the act. The song is Sean Song. It's been a hoot. Thanks for being here. See you in a couple of weeks.